Hello, welcome to PlayStation Access. My name's Rob and I'm very excited because Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled is finally here on PS4, looking gorgeous and feeling every bit as tight, responsive and deliriously fast as the original did all those years ago on PS1. But maybe you never played it back then. Maybe you're hopping online and getting trounced by expert racers every time. Or maybe you're a seasoned pro looking to sharpen your skills before you jump back in on PS4. Whatever the case, after this video, you'll be power slide boosting with the best of them. Here are 9 tips to make you a Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled master. First things first, number 1, learn your characters. Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled has a huge roster of playable racers and each have their own strengths and weaknesses. Finding one that suits your style is incredibly important. If you're a beginner, I'd recommend playing as Crash or Cortex. They're both solid all-rounders with decent stats in speed, acceleration and turning. If you're after someone who can take corners with greater ease, however, then go with Pura or Polar. Just know that their straight line speed isn't the best. Tiny and Dingo Dial are the opposite, both incredibly quick but not too sharp when it comes to steering. And rounding off the basic roster, you've got Coco and N-Jin, solid all-rounders with a sharper burst of acceleration than Crash or Cortex. You'll unlock more characters as you progress, many of which act like upgraded versions of the racers we've just listed, so have a play and get a feel for them all. Adventure modes, hub areas are great for this. You can swap characters at any time and just bomb about without having to worry about lap times or opponents destroying you with bombs and rockets. Once you've mastered a few characters, it's a good idea to switch up who you play as depending on what circuit you're racing. Rouge Tubes, for example, is a fairly straight track, so ideal for a Tiny Tiger or Dingo Dial, whereas in the twisty Slide Coliseum, you'll probably want Pura or Polar. Number 2. You can get a boost off the starting line if you rev your engine just before the light goes green. You'll need to practice this, but once you've got the timing down, it will become locked in your muscle memory and you'll be shooting off the starting grid every race. It's an essential skill to master if you want to keep up with your opponents, so keep practicing. You'll notice how when you rev your engines before the race starts, the bar on the bottom right will fill. If it's red when the green light hits, you've done it. Boom, instant boost. There is an advanced version of this where you repeatedly rev your engine before a race to completely fill your boost bar. This will give you even more speed, but the timing is naturally a lot harder and you risk not getting any boost at all, so be warned. Number 3, power sliding and power slide boosting. Mastering this skill is essential if you want any chance of winning online, earning those platinum relics and beating all of Oxide's ghosts. You start a power slide by pressing either R1 or L1, whichever feels more natural for you. This will instigate a small jump. Immediately hold down a direction and you'll start to power slide. Perfect for getting around tight corners without losing speed. Be careful though, power slide for too long and you will lose control of your kart and spin out. Now here's where it gets interesting. You'll notice your boost bar filling while you power slide. When it turns red, tap the opposite shoulder button, so if like me you power slide with R1, you'll need to hit L1 for a speed boost. You can do this up to 3 times per power slide. Once you get good at this, you'll notice a huge improvement in your lap times. For maximum boost, try and let the bar fill up as high as possible before hitting L1 or R1. This is a risky tactic because if you leave it too long, your engines will burn out and you'll miss your chance. But nail the timing and you'll be rocketing around the track. Eventually, you'll just reach a point where you don't even have to look at the bar. You'll just know instinctively when to hit boost.
Let's go!
Number 4, jumping. As previously mentioned, if you tap R1, you'll perform a small jump. Hopping can be useful for recovering if you've overshot a tight corner. This one in Cortex Castle can be particularly nasty if you've not lined yourself up properly, but mainly you'll be using this move to get some big air. At the top of a ramp, press R1 and you will soar through the sky. The longer you're airborne, the bigger the speed boost when you land. Get used to pressing R1 every time you reach the crest of a jump. You can even go straight into a power slide when you land for added speed. Chaining jumps and power slides together will see you positively humming along the track, your controller reverberating happily in response to your impressive skill. Well done you. Okay, so once you've learned the basics of jumping, power sliding and boosting, you need somewhere to hone your racing skills, and there's nowhere better than entry number 5, the time trials. This lets you race around each track without having to worry about opponents, weapons or crates. It's just you against the clock, making time trials the ideal environment for learning each track and the handling of each racer. You can even select a ghost to race against. Entropy and Oxide have set times on each track. The former is pretty simple to beat once you've learned the layout, but Oxide's times will really test you. To best his ghost, you'll essentially need a perfect race, a glorious chain of boosts, slides and jumps. Beat him and you'll know you're at the top of your game. But even if you fancy just a casual zip around the tracks, racing against your own ghost, time trials are the perfect way to improve your skills as you gradually shave milliseconds off your lap times. If you want the platinum trophy though, you'll need to beat Oxide's ghost on every track. Yep, good luck with that. Another thing time trials are useful for is practicing entry number 6, shortcuts. There are loads of sneaky alternate routes hidden throughout the game, and learning where they are and how to activate them will give you a real edge online and is pretty much essential if you're taking on the aforementioned Oxide ghosts. There's this sneaky shortcut in Tiger Temple which requires you hit a secret door with any projectile weapon. You can even drive into it with a mask on and it will open, and cuts out a huge section of track. This hard to reach hole in Sewer Speedway needs you at full tilt to get the speed necessary to jump in, but pull it off and you'll have a huge advantage. There are less obvious shortcuts too, like jumping over this wall in Polar Pass and scooting round the side of the track in Rouge Tubes near the finish line, but they're all essential if you want to get the fastest times possible. If you're having trouble finding them, have a go at the CTR token challenges in adventure mode, as they'll often sprinkle their collectibles in areas accessible only by shortcuts, drawing your attention to where they're hidden. Number 7. Juice yourself up. Strewn around the tracks in Crash Team Racing are weapon pickups perfect for ruining your opponent's day. But even more important are the Wumpa Fruit crates. Smash into these and collect 10 Wumpa Fruits to juice yourself right up. Not only does this make you go faster, but it also improves all of your weapons in various exciting ways. For example, homing rockets are now faster, bombs have an improved blast radius, potions turn from green to red, meaning anyone unlucky enough to hit one will be slowed and have their own weapons scrambled. Green shields become blue and last indefinitely until you take a hit. Masks last even longer. Basically, being juiced is very important. In fact, we'd advise you focus on collecting 10 Wumpa Fruits as soon as any race begins and concentrate on keeping yourself juiced. When it comes to high stakes online matchups, the finest of margins count, and one Wumpa Fruit could be the difference between and. Number 8. Use battle mode to practice your weapon skills. There's no racing here, just whipping around arenas, smashing everyone up with bombs and rockets. This is a great way to get good at using weapons, to learn the trajectory of bombs, to practice chucking them behind you or potions in front. You can learn sneaky advanced tactics like dropping potions as soon as you hit a weapons crate, essentially setting up a booby trap for the next poor sod who opens it. or using TNT as a defense against oncoming homing missiles. Either way, if you find you're always messing up when it comes to shooting people, get yourself into battle mode for a few hours. You'll soon toughen up. And finally, entry number 9, Race Smart. This is less a tip and more just general Crash Team Racing life advice, because this is a game where sometimes you've got to play dirty. No one's going to think twice about taking you out with a homing rocket, so why should you? Think about when and where to deploy your weapons, however. Remember, if you're in first place, you won't pick up anything offensive. It'll all be TNT, potions, and if you're lucky, shields. But don't just throw them behind you straight away. Wait until you're being targeted by a homing missile and chuck them out behind you as a last second defense. Similarly, if you've got something like a clock that slows everyone down, look to see if other racers are approaching any jumps, deploy it as they go over the top, and watch them plummet into oblivion. No, it's not fair, but then life isn't fair, is it? They need to learn the hard way. Don't use rockets if you don't need to. If you're faster than the person in front, you'll overtake them anyway. Save those rockets for when someone overtakes you. Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled is about shooting around various tracks in an orange blur, yes, but it's also about winning by any means necessary. So there you are, 9 tips that will make you a Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled pro. Have you got any others you'd like to share? Is this your first time playing the game? How are you finding it? Let us know in the comments, give us a like if you fancy an online race sometime, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all our videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you again soon.
For the players.